How's everyone doing? Hope you're alright. It's Cody. I'm back again. Um, I've just been watching a couple of videos now on YouTube about the Gangland documentary that aired on Channel 5. Um, and I've seen a lot of like negative things on the like, oh, it was the black gangs, it was racist, it's wrong, it glamorizes the gun, and all that sort of stuff, right? Well, I'm here today as a former gang member who has experience with. I was on a documentary. I was on a six-part documentary that aired on the Crime Investigation Channel. Was very, 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 very popular. It was more gangland, crime, fly on the wall sort of thing, right? Before that, right, I genuinely I flew under the radar with what I was doing when I was committing crime. Um, and then I went on this documentary, and it put my face right out there. Like the police attention that came with it was through the roof. Doors I was running were being raided. When there was about three people inside, the doors were being raided by police, coming searching front and back doors, like surrounding the venue, searching it and stuff like that. All because of who I was involved in with, what I was up to, and all because of what I said on this documentary. Um, and it reflects in this Channel 5 program, Gangland, talking about the South London like gangs and stuff. And I'm a former gang member, right? I went from gang member to being involved with gangsters and stuff. And in the eyes of the police, I was a minder in a criminal underworld and all this sort of stuff. So I'm in a place to comment on the program. I didn't watch it all. I'll be honest with you. I sort of I was like on my phone, but I was watching as well. It was like flicking backwards and forwards. I knew what to expect, and it was exactly what to expect. People plugging drugs up their ass, going about fucking Mac 10 submachine guns, fucking Scorpion like submachine guns, all this sort of stuff, pulling clips out like the magazine out of the straps and stuff. And it's a world that I was very, very involved in. I used to be involved with a very, very notorious gang from Manchester. They ran drugs, and it was mainly drugs. But firearms aplenty. I actually met this gang while I was doing the doors in Manchester, well, in Ashton, Underline. And I was the head doorman at a rough club. They were dealing drugs in the club. Befriended them. We nearly clashed a few times, but then became friends with them. They used to sell drugs in the club. I used to search people for drugs, take the drugs off people, sell them to this gang that I was involved in. They used to then line my pockets and give me backhanders. I'd then in turn, like when the police came to the door I'd give the lads the heads up and they get off out the back door sort of thing, and all that sort of stuff. And then we went for food and ended up dealing drugs for them and all that sort of stuff. And it's a very paranoid, like dangerous, like world to be involved in. They all ended up going to jail. Between 11 of them, just 11 of the gang, just 11 of them ended up going to prison for I think in excess of 235 years for a few murders, firearms, like tit for tat shootings, drugs, and everything else. Well, going back to this documentary on Channel 5, people slaying it, right? I'm looking at it as a 32-year-old guy now that's reformed. I blew my cover, right? What I was doing before I got involved with this TV thing back in 2011, 2012, right, was I was committing crime, and I was flying under the radar and putting myself on this documentary that aired on the Crime Investigation Channel. It lit me up. And no balaclava, no mask, no hoodie, no nothing. Just straight up speaking to camera like I'm speaking to you. I spoke very candidly about things I've done on the back of things I could have been arrested for. I just spoken candidly and openly about the situation, and for me, it was the backlash was fucking phenomenal. I mean, the police, they're coming through my door, searching me on a door, while I was at work running doors in Manchester, coming to my door, turning the club over, turning me over, come back, find down police raiding my flat. It's definitely the way it is. But this, like I say, back to the Gangland program, it is what it is. It's like out of poverty, and on these like estates and stuff. You come from broken homes, your boys are there, and then it's like, oh, listen, I'm going to do a bit of this, we're going to do a bit of that. And it starts small, and then it goes big very quick. From a very young age, you're talking 12, 13, 14, right? And it's partly to belong to something. And then you see the money, and you see the elders on the estate rolling round in the Mercs and the Subaru Imprezas and the Porsche Cayennes and the convertible BMs and the girls and the money and like the nice watches and the bling and the jewelry and all that shit, man. That's what goes on, and you're drawn to it. You see, other people around your estate can't afford fucking to eat and stuff. You know what I mean? And then you've got to do a bit of this and a bit of that to survive. So you get drawn in. I was actually older. I was knocking around with like street gangs when I was a kid, but nothing like to what the extent of what I got involved in years after. And like I say, when you're from these estates and stuff, it's not. It's a way to. It's a means to an end, right? You see your mom struggling, yeah. You see your family struggling. They're working. They're not working. They've lost a job. They're fucking grafting. They're doing a bit of this and a bit of that to survive, right? And they can't afford to keep their head underwater. And you see them struggling, and you start making a bit of money, and you end up like giving it to your ma and that, and paying the way and like getting involved, right? Firearms and drugs go hand in hand. Obviously, like from poverty derives like you see what other people have got, right? And you want it, and you think, you know what, I'm gonna get it, and you fucking go out and you get it, and it's like it's a job. And some of these lads, nobody, like the kid said on the program, oh, I've always wanted to be a drug dealer. Nah. Listen, when the kid was a kid, yeah, when he was young, he didn't wake up thinking, yeah. What it is, it's learn. He's come up on the estate, he's seen it, he's seen his boys doing it, and he's learned, and he's got involved with a trade, and he become a drug dealer. And drug dealers and criminals make a lot more money, right? There's risk involved, and like death. The one thing that people that I've not spoken about on this documentary, like the people that are on YouTube that spoke about it, I've not mentioned death and stuff like that. Like death is it's a big occupational hazard, right? In London, where obviously it's scattered out, but you've got so many gangs in such a small area. It's like a tale of two cities, right? You've got the posh suburbs of North London, St John's Wood and Marylebone and all them sorts of places, Mayfair and all that. And you got like the slums, you got like Croydon, you got like Acton, you got all them sorts of places, man. South East, North and West, Bermondsey, all them sorts of gaffs, man, sorts of areas. So you got boys running around there in estates full of rat warrens and like ginnels and shit like that. And you've got so many gangs within a small area that it's very easy to get what you call get caught slipping, which means that you get caught in somebody's area and you've not got no on you, you're not tooled up on anything, whether it be a machete, combat knife, firearm, taser, CS gas, fucking stun gun, whatever. List goes on. The program itself, I'm sort of in two minds, right? It glamorizes gangs, it definitely does, because if I'm a youth, right, watching that, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want a bit of that. I want the drugs. I want to be a bad boy. I want the money. I want to hold a strap. I want to pop someone for no reason to get a rep, to get a reputation, and that's what goes on. And like I say, it germinates. It really does. It spreads like wildfire, right? And then other people see it, and other people see it, and your boys see it, and then your other boys see it, and before you know it, you're a tight little clique. And you're all doing a bit of this and a bit of that. And the thing is, within the gangs, it's like you want to be like, if someone's a bit crazier than you and like, oh, I'll shoot him, I'll shoot that. Right? You want to be like that person, and then other people want to be that person. So what it leads to is like people will pull the trigger, simple as that, just to get the rep, just to be, wow, like, oh, he's a bad man, yeah, man. And it goes on, and it's a very, very big problem, like I say. But drugs, like now, right, say you go out, yeah, right? You spend, I don't know, depending on what purity and stuff, 20, 30k, right, on a kilo of heroin, right? You get your kilo, you cut it, right? So a kilo, to people that don't know, like a house brick, right? So you get your house brick, you cut it with a cutting agent, right? And then once you've cut it, you've gone from one house brick to two house bricks, right? So straight away, just by cutting it, you've doubled your profit. You've doubled your money, doubled money, people. And this is why firearms are so readily, like, they're involved in that world, because you've got to make sure no one's going to jack your stash and everything else. And the kid on the gangs and stuff, they just wanted to be on TV and stuff, like, oh yeah, sick mate, sick. And you know what the thing is though, on the flip side of that, it actually needs to be broadcast, because it shows the state of the policing in the UK. It shows that people can actively go around and flaunt firearms and fucking like submachine guns and pistols and all the usual fucking weapons, right? It's part and parcel of life. And unfortunately, here in Britain in 21st century, like 2016, there are more guns and drugs on the street than there are police officers. So people shouldn't really be shocked that it's an issue. I'm from Manchester, obviously, with my accent. We have a problem here in Manchester with the old Gunchester slogans. You got Wivenshaw, Benchill, Newhall Green. You got Old Trafford. You got Longside, Levenshulme. You know what I mean? Some rough areas about. You know what I mean? Moss Side. So all these areas about, yeah, and everyone's doing a bit of this and that. You got like the gangs that I used to be involved with. You got Doddington, Cheetah Mill. You got like the OTC, the Old Trafford Crips, LSC, Longside Crew. You got all these crazy, like, there's all these gangs and spin-off gangs, and gangs have got gangs, and gangs have got gangs, right? And the youth, yeah, they're like the up and coming. You'll have the elders, then you'll have the youth, right, that are like 18, 19, and then you got the youth, and you see in boys, yeah, that are in school uniform, yeah, getting caught with strap bags, yeah, the little bags you go over your shoulder like a satchel bag, yeah, with drugs and shit like that, going to school selling the weed and MDMA and all that sort of shit, man. And trust me, I know it sounds crazy, but it fucking goes on. Now, the thing is with a program, right, I've got two opinions on it, right? One, it's a hard-hitting documentary and it shows what goes on. I mean, example, gangs are a real problem, right? People want to watch fake shit on TV, fucking fixed programs like X Factor, like fucking Big Brother, and all that shit, right? Scripted fucking bullshit, right? With Z-list celebrities and it's fake, right? I like real programs with real people, with real, like real problems and everything else, right? And the issue is very real. Gangs. Drugs is a very real issue. Death, because two or three of the lads died, because obviously they've become like victim to the industry they was involved in. And like I said before, occupational hazard, death is a very, very big problem within the gangs. I mean, I can't estimate the average age of like a gun crime, like of a gang member victim, but it's a very, very, very big problem. The money that comes with it, the respect that comes with it, like as you get older, you're walking into clubs and stuff, and you've got the champagne on the go, you got the Dom Perignon and the fucking, I don't know, Verve Clique, and like more expensive than that as well. You fucking like Cristal champagne and like the bling. You got the nice watches and shit, Jacobs and Co watches. You got the dough. You got your treads on. You're looking dapper, and it's respect and power and money. And who doesn't want that? We don't have the same things as everyone else. Like the state schools we go to are shit. The teachers don't really care. And you see these upper class, middle classes, and you see what they've got, and you think, you know what? Listen, I fucking want that, right? And you know what? You can take a shortcut and get to it. Fuck uni, fuck college, fuck all that stuff. You can get to it fast, right? And that's what people are doing. I'm not saying it's right, but we're disenfranchised there in the UK. Like we really are. I mean, people have to do a bit of this and a bit of that to survive. I mean, like the gaps between the haves and have-nots are getting bigger year on year, and like there's that much drugs and stuff on the streets. Like it's fucking scary. Like legalized now are taking over as the drug of choice, because they're more potent and they're cheaper, and they get you off your tits and stuff for longer and all that stuff. I still speak to people in the game, and I still chat to people, and I've got boys that are in jail. I've been in jail myself. When I was in prison, they actually ask you, are you a former gang member? Have you been involved in gangs? Are you involved with gangs? So I said, yeah. And I was honest and everything and told them straight, and they was careful which wings to put me on, but they don't really, the screws didn't give a shit. But anyway, back to the gang thing. Like, money, power, drugs, guns, all that stuff, respect, women, clothes, watches, jewelry, bling, whatever, all is all there for people to be taken. Now, like I say, yes, it shows the problem, and it shows it's a real hard-hitting documentary, and it shows what goes on. People be plugging drugs at their ass, people be selling drugs, people pulling straps out, people talking openly and not giving a shit because they don't care about the police. But going on camera sometimes without a bally on, and some of the lads weren't covered and stuff, they will become a target for, like, the I think, is it Trident or something, the like the police who deal with black on black, like, gang crime stuff down in London. They'll be targeted, and the doors will come off in the wake of that program. Mark my words, the most popular, right, you know, these gangster programs and gang programs and like Gangland stuff, right? The biggest watchers of these programs are not people like Joe Public, right? Obviously, I'm a former gang member. It's the same old shit to me. It's nothing I haven't heard before and seen and witnessed, right? It's actually police officers, lawyers, people from, like, the Crown Prosecution Service that watch these sorts of programs, and it's intelligence and stuff. And of course, and the thing is, by putting the face out there, and I'm speaking as someone that's done this, right, and regretted doing it, right? You put your face out there and you become a target for the police. Now, them boys on there, right? Listen. The police stop and search black youth, right? Because the police are racist, right? Black gangs, there's no such thing as just black gangs, right? I was involved with like black gangs, but they had Asian guys in there and all this sort of shit, right? I was like a white boy within it. There's a couple of white boys, right? And they was all dangerous fucking lads, and they would shoot you. Simple. They would shoot you for the boys, like, they would put one in you, and they did, and two people died, and they went to jail. So it goes on. I think some people within, like, middle class, upper class people, they read about this shit in like the newspaper and stuff. But this documentary is like a hard hitting documentary. It shows the problem with the youth of today. We're still disenfranchised. They still got no stake in society. We still don't give a shit. We still got shit attitudes towards the police. We don't care about the police. The police are still racist and stop us, and the police, like, fan the flames of hatred even more so because of the racist behaviour. Then you see, like, people like Mark Duggan, God bless Mark Duggan, being shot dead, and up here in Manchester, Anthony Granger, God bless him, may he rest in peace, right? And it fans the flames of hatred towards the police, and then they see like the gaps between the haves and have-nots are getting bigger year on year, and they see poverty, and they experience poverty, and they think, listen, I ain't struggling for no dough to eat. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna rob people. I'm gonna jack people. I'm gonna commit crime. I'm gonna sell the drugs. I'm gonna sell the firearms. And I'm gonna shoot people, like, and stuff like that. So it's a real, like, hard hitting thing. I mean, I was offered money one time to shoot somebody dead. And yeah, and I'm not gonna go into it too much more. But I was offered money, but the guy couldn't stump the money up, and it never, like, transpired. But I wasn't going to do it anyway, so yeah. But like I say, it's a really, like, it's a big problem and stuff, and like I say, you do get asked to do things reference firearms and stuff in that world. It is part and parcel of what it is. We shouldn't be shocked or surprised at what goes on. Like I say, the series was hard hitting. It hit the problems and stuff of what goes on. These lads, the government don't give a shit about us, so we're running feral. The lads run feral. They do what they need to do to survive. I'm not glamorizing it. Channel 5 glamorized it, but then on, like, against the glamorization of gangs and firearms and drugs and stuff, which it will, like, people will watch that and think, well, I fancy a bit of that. It's not going to stir people away from like, gangs, that is it, fuck. But then on the other side of the coin, it's a hard-hitting documentary that shows the real people, real problems, real issues, real life, and that's good TV. And where to the gang lads, right? It was it was sick, it was safe. We was on TV. We got paid dough. Right? They won't get paid for the crime. They'll get paid for the travel and shit like that, because you can't seem to be paying criminals for criminal behavior and stuff. And that the only reason that the filming went ahead like that is because, like, the media, when they make these sorts of programs, they can't be seen to record crime, because the duty bound to inform the police and like stuff like that, and they can't do it because it's glamorizing crime. So the loophole for that was to give these lads cameras and let them go out on the streets with these GoPros and like little mini cameras and shit, like cheaper ones, so they didn't get robbed and jacked up and stuff. And that's the way it is. Crime's a big thing. There's more criminals and gang members and firearms and drugs than there are police officers. Welcome to lawless Britain, people. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. Take care. God bless.